watching
children's programming.
Cool. All right, cool. So this is episode, I think we're on 14 of children's programming right now.
Wow.
Yeah, number 14. And you heard the voice of our beautiful guest today, Mr. Skywalker, DJ and host of on K104 here in Orange County and the Ulster County area. And
well, I'm beautiful because I got my new COVID haircut today.
I
First time at the hair.
I saw that. So how many days has it been since your last haircut?
Beginning of March. So probably March, April, May. Probably almost 3 months.
Gotcha.
It was nice.
Yeah. Did you do it yourself, or did you have a COVID barber do it for you?
No, I actually went to the salon, had someone do it for me. I can't do it. I'm not coordinated. I'm blessed with many things. Coordination.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm very thankful that things are opening back up because it was not fun to be just shaving it all off every couple of weeks.
Yeah. Luckily for me, luckily my hair grows fast, so any mistakes could be undone.
Mm-hmm. Especially around the ears, mine was looking gnarly.
Yeah, my mom has her license, so she always cuts my hair, so I've never really had to worry about that my whole life.
Actually, yeah, I don't think when I had you in class, your hair wasn't that long.
Yeah, I usually kept it pretty short. I always wore a hat, so I never really doesn't really make a difference how long my hair was most of the time.
I'm actually shocked you're not wearing a hat right now.
Yeah, I haven't. When I'm at work now, I just don't wear hats because they get it dirty. If I'm in because where I work now, there's a lot of dust, so it would ruin every hat I have. I'm ruining every pair of clothes I have by working there. So,
just three guys talking about their hair.
Yeah,
big deal.
Oh yeah, this is interesting stuff. This is what the people want to hear. Yeah. So how you been?
So what's up?
Yeah, man. Been doing well. I just graduated, so I'm done with school now.
Congratulations. Should we have a ceremony for you, online?
I mean, they put a picture. They put a picture of everybody online, and that was our graduation. And they allegedly said they had a professional person reading it, but it was just it sounded like, some generic robot reading it. So
someone should have gave me a call. I would have done it for free.
I'm sure you would have. Yeah. But that's what I've been doing right now. And then I just got a job at my girlfriend's dad. He runs an insulation company, so I'm just doing kind of odd jobs for them. So it's full time, but it pays the bills. So help me get through that. Yeah, just trying to do that.
Good.
And that's what I've been doing.
Nice.
I moved out of my parents' house, and I got a new car. It was unfortunate circumstances because the old one crashed. It doesn't exist anymore. But I've been working on that mostly because there's not a whole lot else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Little things here and there that I've been tuning up and fixing on it.
Good. Yeah, I went to Hudson Taco in Newburgh Sunday. Very exciting to have a waitress start you off with drinks and appetizers. Haven't heard that phrase in a while. So nice.
Man.
You get everything all at once.
Yeah, I'll take whatever I can get. Human interaction. I've been going to work all this time. Radio, we are considered essential employees. So go in, rain, sleet, or snow. Technology does allow you to be home in most situations. In a lot of situations, I do some radio stations from home. I work on some radio stations from home, but K104 in particular, we physically went in, have been going in. And then this week was the first week that we introduced other employees into the building, like salespeople, etc. So now we are about 80% capacity. Nice to see humans.
What was the biggest change with all the coronavirus going on? Like the amount of people you were able to have on staff at any time, or how did the schedule change as far as the?
Yeah. Well, we did have a couple of furloughs for our part-time DJs, so I have been pulling a weekend shift. I usually don't go in on weekends, and I do Sunday nights now. And my shift was shortened 1 hour. I used to do 2 to 7. I've been doing 2 to 6. And the thought process of that is we do have to go in, but the less time spent in the building with each other, because, you work in radio, it's one studio and one console, and the cross quote unquote contamination, the less time we could spend in the studio, the better. So we shortened our shifts by an hour. And yeah, so that's it, really, basically. A lot of cleaning, gloves, masks, and all that stuff. But the show has to go on, shall they say. They say the weird thing is, it's been like when it snows, we go in no matter what. But here, we have to go in, but it's just a different circumstance. And, it's been life-changing, but the way I compare it, honestly, it's kind of different. Not to compare, but I was on the air during 9/11, and the directive after 9/11 from everyone was, the best thing you can do is go out, live your life, and and be you, and be active again, and show the terrorists that we're American. Go and do things. The directive for this has been, stay home, don't do anything. So it's just the tone has been very different. Terrible thing.
Is it kind of like, so when you say that it ends at 6 now, is it kind of go automated from 6 to 7 and you use that time to clean everything up?
No, we still have live DJs. Our 7 to midnight guy now does 6 to 10. So everyone's just kind of pushed back, but a shorter shift.
Okay.
And our protocol is we come in, we clean our console, and once we're in there, it's not quote unquote contaminated. And then the next guy comes in and wipes down. We have a cleaning guy that comes in as well, and he's there full time. So they've been very safe and very smart with how they've been doing things. It's uncharted territory. The mask thing, we have to wear a mask in the building. Not when I'm in the studio by myself, but all those things that I'm sure everyone's going through. People don't pick up their prizes. The office, in essence, is closed. K-Fest obviously was canceled this year, unfortunately. The other concert, it's taken a hit because we get our revenue, as I taught you guys, from commercials, and advertisers right now. There's nothing to advertise because they're not open. The other source of revenue that we had was events. We would put on K-Fest, Poochapalooza, Kids Fest, all these events that we would create and get revenue from that, and that's not happening. So definitely tough time.
Do you think there's a danger of this leading to smaller radio stations or more independent radio stations having to shut down because there just isn't enough money coming in?
I don't think that COVID would be the reason for that. I think that that's danger in the first place because of large conglomerates and how people consume their music. There's no way that I think radio is going anywhere. It's not for sure, but the landscape has changed. I don't know I don't know radio stations have shut down, but job loss. Not at our building. Our company and our owner has kept everybody. There's been some furloughs, but for the most part has kept everybody. But a lot of friends in the business have been let go. Just financial reasons. So it's tough.
Do you think the online digital, with podcasts now, has kind of reintroduced audio to a lot of people as kind of like a dominant format?
I don't know if dominant, but yeah, like an aside for sure. Podcasting and spoken word and that kind of stuff has really hit an all-time high. I liken it to social media. Everyone wants a voice, and it's a way that everyone can have a voice. And if you want to have some kind of topic that is so left of center, you can do what we're doing right now, and then a broadcast quality, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so we haven't really explored it too much on our radio station. The way that I look at podcasts and how it relates to radio is that it can be an extension of what you're already doing in the brand. I don't think it should be its own separate thing for radio. But if the morning show is on live doing their show for 4 hours, and maybe you want to make a 15-minute isolated version of the morning show, or I haven't done this, or a Skywalker uncensored, and I say all the things that I wouldn't be able to say on the radio, but I'm extending my brand and people can know a little more about me and I can expand on a topic other than the 13 seconds I have to talk over a song. You guys know.
Nick, what was that question you had for him earlier? I remember the one about Father of All.
Oh, so we have a running joke around here related to the new Green Day album because Dixon hates it. And I hate it as well, but I give it a 10 out of 10 because it annoys him. So I looked the other day, and their latest single, "Oh Yeah," is it's like a #1 on the rock chart, #1 on the alternative chart, and it was, or at least it peaked there, and it was doing well on the dance chart, surprisingly. So my question to you is, over under. What are the odds we hear "Oh Yeah" on Top 40 radio by the end of the year?
I haven't heard the song, so is there a pop element or is it really punk?
No, it's like if I didn't tell you ahead of time that it was a Green Day song, you probably wouldn't know. It's kind of glammy. It's like there's synth, there's like pop elements. It's got a sample of a Joan Jett song, so it's not
okay.
Typical territory for them. It's kind of different. So it would fit in there reasonably well, I think, but
then it's possible. You know, the way it works is the record company decides what formats they want to shop that music to and what do they think has a chance at it. You know, Green Day has name value, so that has working for it. I'm in a pop format, like top 40, so it has to be familiar. Things are going to be really weird. So I could see that, you know. We played their songs when they were hits back then. The whole Dookie stuff. Yeah, very possible. Very possible. You know, music is cyclical. We are either in a rock phase, in a pop phase, in a hip hop phase. There's a lot of critiques about Top 40 not being in a good space right now, and it's just what the labels produce and what the market demands right now. That's why I like working at a Top 40 station, because we can lean a certain way. If it's a Drake world, we'll lean towards Drake. If it's a 5 Seconds of Summer world, we'll lean towards that.
How do you feel when people say things like that? Does it bother you? Or does it annoy you when people are like, "Oh, Top 40's in a bad place right now"? Because at least like I don't listen to Top 40 radio that much, but it doesn't seem like it's in a bad place. It seems like, it seems like people who say that are just not interested in what they're playing right now.
Yeah, let me clarify. I say as an industry person, the amount of product for Top 40 within the industry, we're not getting fed so much great music at this moment. So I'm just saying, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's not. It just depends how things are going. But that doesn't annoy me when I say not in a good place. What does annoy me is when people roll their eyes at it, like it's less than music, and it has no depth. I mean,
the hipsters of the world.
Yeah, they're the Karens of the world.
I mean, it's
going
not
to
for
hate
them.
on everything.
It's not for everybody. It's like it's that particular station is for those people who like Top 40. So if you're criticizing it, just don't really listen to it. It's not.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, the most listened to radio station in the Hudson Valley is K104. Yes, the one that's playing the Jonas Brothers. More people listen to our radio station than anybody else. So we're mass appeal. That's just the fact of it. You don't have to like it. I hate classic rock music. It's not my thing. Don't like classic rock. I don't want to get the lead out. Don't want none of that stuff. But I respect it as music stuff. I think what happens is they put their personal feelings in. And I told you two were in my class. The way I teach it is radio is a business. Have your own personal radio station, your own personal MP3 player. That's totally cool. But the things that we're doing is not why we play songs as we do, why we play the songs that we play. It's not random, and it's not to be annoying. There's a business model.
It's probably more of an algorithm than anything. They're trying to fit a certain aesthetic or a certain way of doing things. Kind of going
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Everything's a demographic. Again, younger people are more apt to hear new music quicker and be more accepting of it. We target 18 to 34-year-old females. And if a new album comes out, it does us no good promotionally to play any single off the album. It's the single that the record company is putting all their money and power behind. That's why all radio stations add a certain song on the same day. It's all contrived, but there is room for gut. A lot of people approach me and say, why can't you play this song and blah, blah, blah. The moment we play something unfamiliar, people tune out and we lose revenue. There are venues for things that are not so mainstream. I tend to speak on mainstream and the way we do things because it's my bread and butter. Worked in all different formats and situations. Cult rock radio, you can play whatever you want, and that's good. In college radio, you should play, John Tesh into Megadeth if you want. That's where you do it in college radio when the stakes are not.
Do you think that there's going to be a big uptick in event attendance when things do come back? Do you think that when K-Fest comes back next year, that it'll have a chance at being the biggest K-Fest ever because people will just be so stoked to finally go to it again? Or do you think that it'll just kind of go back to normal?
I don't know. I think your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what people are going to feel. They're going to feel scared or they're going to feel relieved that they get to get out of jail. Well, I don't know. I think it's going to depend on how things go and there's a resurgence. If I'm not rushing to get back. I mean, I don't miss big crowds right now. It's more the social stuff that's really been my issue. Is that I'm single and I live alone, so my daily interactions are limited. When can I go see my mom on Long Island, who's fine but 70? So when can I hug my mom? When can I hug my sister? That kind of stuff.
I've got severe cabin fever at this point setting in. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was chatting up that hairdresser today because it was a different person. But
yeah,
it's not to stay on the COVID thing, but it's going to be a mental thing as much as it is a physical. Keeping your mental health good as much as safe. I tested for the antibodies. Not going to give you a green light to go crazy and wild, but positive for the antibodies. So, must have been exposed at one time. I think I know when too. Sick for March. But, I'm not going out thinking, oh, that's everything. It's a learning curve. This is unprecedented.
I was at the Danbury Mall the other day because they opened Connecticut back up, but it was it was a very strange thing to be in a place where it's open, but half of it is still closed.
Yeah. Yeah. What's strange for me is that, so I'm on K104 and you guys know that I record for different radio stations around the country. And I'm on a station in Tennessee and I'm on a station in Vermont and I'm on a station in Wisconsin daily. So I have to put forth the tenure of whatever the community is. They don't care. So in New York, it's all conservative. We're in phase 1 and we have so much infection. Tennessee, there's 3 new cases today. And Wisconsin's in the middle. Connecticut's over here. And Vermont's over here. So every piece of the country is kind of in a different place.
How did you develop that muscle where you're able to go in between different, the ways you speak when you're in a different market?
Yeah, it's less about the market, the way I speak, probably in the formats. Top 40 Skywalker is upbeat in everything he says. And today's hit music, K104, we're live. And when I'm on Rock 93.7 in Tennessee, not because it's Tennessee, but because it's rock music, it's Rock 93.7. Got your chance to go see, Zeppelin. It's just based on the audience. and it comes with time. Just comes with time. The same way that when I first started, I grew up on Long Island. So I grew up on not Long Island. I grew up on Long Island, where we played songs and we talked on the radio and we had chocolate and coffee. And the first time that I heard my voice back, I'm like, oh. So it's a muscle. It's a muscle that comes with time.
To get a little into that, what going back to like what you said, you don't like classic rock music. Was there a something in your life when you were a kid that developed that, or is it just kind of a taste that's developed over time, or distaste?
Yeah, no, I mean everyone has a genre they don't like. I don't like for radio because I love radio. I love DJs. I thought DJs were celebrities. They're celebrities. So classic rock radio DJs tend to be like gruff or like kind of like very mellow or like you're pissing them off, you know, like, oh, got another Beatles double set coming up, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh, it's not fun. And you can't talk over the music in rock music. I used to work across the hall from a rock station, and I would say to the lady, Angie, who was on, I'd be like, Angie, don't you want to talk up the song? Remember you talk up a musical post where you start talking until the music starts? Well, in rock music, they have such an appreciation for the guitars and the instrumentation. You don't talk over Stairway to Heaven. That music is supposed to breathe. Pink Floyd. So it's just not me. I like rhythm. I appreciate it musically, but it's just not my cup of tea.
So when you were growing up, like, when was the first time that you listened to radio and sort of found what you liked about it? Like, what did you see where there was a difference between radio and any other medium in your mind?
I just, it's always been what I want to do. I was what we call in the radio business, a prize pig. I would win contests all the time. It was something with winning, maybe because I like gambling. I don't know. I used to want to win, be caller 16 on my radio station, WBLI, to win all the contests. And I used to beg my mom to drive me to the radio station, pick up the prize, and try to see the studio and see the DJs. And that was my start. Always wanted to do it. So I think it was the prizes for some reason that I really loved. You know, I always won these random things, set $1,000. So that was my start. It's honestly the only thing I ever wanted to do. Somehow it worked out.
I know you're a fan of Elvis Duran. I know you're a fan of Howard Stern. Who are some other DJs that the people out there should know and pay attention to? Some other radio personalities.
You know what? I'll give you somebody that I am really finding interesting right now. And I don't get to hear his show because we're on against each other. I just messaged him like 3 days ago to say, yo, your social media is funny. Your little vignettes. His name is Corey, and he's on 92.3 Alt Radio, Alt 92.3 in New York City. I used to be on that station when it was a pop station, Amp 92.3. Anyways, his name is Corey. He's very witty, left of center, intelligent. So Corey at Alt 92.3 in the city. Also on Z100, there's a late night guy named Brady. And Brady is awesome. He is so funny. He could be a comedian.
I think I've heard that guy before. Yeah.
He's not your typical DJ. Like, he says what he does, like love songs with Brady Pistachio, and he does like this fake Delilah kind of stuff. So those are two funny guys. It gets hard. It's hard to pick a lot of people because there's just not a lot of talent these days. Because the pure jobs, what I do every day is I'm on 7 radio stations, so I'm taking 7 people's jobs. So that's 7 less DJs than there would have been 15 years ago because technology, finances, and economics. So the pool, they call it the talent pool. The talent pool is kind of shallow. I don't have a list to totally rattle off to you. Those are a couple.
So, like, compared to other industries, do you see that there's a lot less people going into it these days? Like, when you say that?
I think there are less people because I think that there's just less jobs. Yeah, probably are less people. I always like to I always like to add the fact that if you do have an interest in it, there are jobs. You just have to be uber passionate about it. It's probably just harder, possible, harder. It really has thinned out the talent pool because who's willing to sacrifice? Less people. So it's not a doom and gloom, assessment. It's just a real assessment. And there's just other offshoots of the business that you can get into if you don't want talent. There's just purely less jobs. So that's what it is. The same way that anybody would say, oh, there's less jobs at the factory because of machines, Detroit. So not a dying industry. It's a changing. People that don't adapt to the change, accept the change, or the people that fight the change are the ones that are going to lose out. So I understand that I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I'm so lucky, but there are other people that have been doing this for over 20 years, and they don't want to touch Instagram. They don't want to even know what Snapchat or TikTok is. You have to embrace what your audience is doing. You can't be like, I'm not going to do that. Back in the day, I spent my time in the radio studio answering phone calls because guess what? Everyone wanted to be a top 9 at 9 DJ and they wanted to hear their favorite song. Now you guys can hear whatever song you want at any time you want by going on YouTube or doing whatever you do or go to Spotify. So calls don't come in, but texts do. And social media does. So you got to be active on that. So you got to adapt with the changes.
When you were in the early days, like what was your main focus like in your daily life that kind of helped you break into the industry? Did you have any sort of like daily rituals that you did or things you did to attract people's attention early on that you think worked?
Probably the biggest, and it's true of any industry, is I just always said yes. I was just a yes guy. You asked me to do something, yes, 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 yes. So my internship was filled with yeses. My first part-time DJ thing was, can you work the overnight? Yes. Can you work midnight to 8? Can you do the parade, the St. Patty's Day parade after you do midnight to 8? Yes. Whatever you need, yes, yes, yes. So that flexibility and that yes man attitude, I think, is probably what got me ahead, because a lot of people know because they didn't know they had to say yes, or they just were more lazy about it. I have a crazy work ethic. The thing that I have been balancing as of late, I'd say in the last 5 years of my life, is trying to achieve that work-life balance. Work, work, work. No regrets. But as a life lesson, you got to figure out, where things fall. Can't. What's the point of working if you don't have
Now, while you may have a great work ethic, and I know you do, some people that have recently revealed themselves to not have a great work ethic are the MLB owners who are not interested in striking a deal with the players union or with the TV people or with anything. And it's looking less and less likely that the season is going to come, which I'm very, very sad about, and I'm sure you are as well.
Beautiful transition.
What is going on, Sky? What is going on?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I just had this conversation today, and I haven't been totally following exactly what's going on. But am I correct in saying that the Players Association turned down 75% pay for 75% of the season? Did they turn down a prorated deal? Because if that's the case, then I'm pissed at the players, because you make enough money, take the prorated for working a prorated amount of time. Am I missing something on that?
What they're saying is that the next offer they're going to get for 50 games would be the same amount of pay that they would get for 75 games. So I guess in their mind, the argument would be that they're getting the same amount of pay for 20 more games.
What's the minimum salary in Major League Baseball right now?
I think it's $500K.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really, the way this country is and the state that we're in, the pay that nothing's a no. on the pay front. Talk about safety, health, and logistics like that. I'm with you. But you lose me on money. And I don't believe no salary cap. I'm very happy they make as much as they do. All for that. I think everyone can be rich and it's all relative. But, in this case, just get on the field. If it takes whatever, a cut, takes whatever, get on the field and help your country. Everything will be fine next year. But that aspect, not able to get beyond that. That time I don't side with the players.
I'm very bummed for the sport because they blew their chance to be like the first sport back. If they had taken the 75 game deal, we could be starting spring training like now, start games on July 1st, and it would have been the first major sport back. And now we got NBA's coming back with a new playoff format. Hockey's going to be back on August 31st, I think, something like that. And like even car racing is back.
NASCAR is back.
Yeah, like
with fans.
Come on, baseball.
We're in a world where golf and NASCAR are more hyped than ever, than any other sport. It's like people are excited to watch NASCAR. It's kind of disgusting, but
I put on the 100 best major league plays just to get some dose of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So sad. I just can't. Yeah. I mostly
ESPN is running 2K tournaments.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, like all the betting sites, like even when there's no sports to play, they're like betting like, oh, they have death polls, like who's gonna die first, like Charlie Sheen or Betty White, like something like that. It's disturbing. It's disturbing, but yeah.
By the way, it's Charlie Sheen.
Probably.
I don't know. He's got that tiger blood, man. He might be okay.
I've been watching old Golden Girls episodes. That's what I do. Oh, and I watched, speaking of podcasts and sports, though, Artie Lang.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Remember him? He's a funny guy. I was on Howard Stern, and I watched an interview of him with Lenny Dykstra.
Oh, my God.
Awesome. Did you see that?
He's a frequent topic on the podcast.
Is he really?
Yeah,
the legend, Lenny Dykstra.
There's an author we're trying to get on the podcast. He wrote a book about the 86 Mets, and he said that Lenny Dykstra is the most despicable human being that he's ever seen in his life.
Did you hear what he did with the umpires?
What did he do?
He bribed the umpires, so he's on there. He's like, so what he would do is he hired private investigators to get dirt on the umpires. So they would follow one umpire who was maybe cheating on his wife, or another umpire who maybe was drinking a little too much. And when Dykstra would get up to bat, he'd be like, so you were over at the blah, blah bar the other day. and he was like the most walked player, and he got all the calls. Like, it was so genius. I loved it.
You saw the other day that he says that Ron Darling faked cancer.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
The feud continues.
He's a disgusting human being.
Who knows also tough too? I don't follow hockey, but in social media gives you a whole new face. Is Sean Avery? Is that his name from the Rangers?
Yeah.
He's
an interesting guy.
Yeah. I think he has something about bikes. Like he bikes a lot. Like and he's like the bike police in New York City. Like when a car doesn't yield to a bike, he like gets off his bike and rips him a new whatever and records it. Very interesting.
Legend. If you were into baseball hijinks, true life baseball hijinks, you have got to check out the best documentary film of the year.
Ooh.
This is it's a 6-part YouTube series called History of the Seattle Mariners by John Boyce and Alex Rubenstein.
Okay.
And it is hilarious, the kind of shenanigans that this bizarro team throughout time has gotten into. Like the original Seattle baseball stadium is now a Home Depot. They had a player who blew a ball foul.
Really?
They had a player who faked vomiting in the outfield.
My favorite was the guy they had where he went to his house one night and they had taken all his furniture and put it in the bathroom and put green Jello in his toilet.
The person
nobody
was never
know-
brought to justice. No one knows who did it.
What era? Like all throughout their.
All throughout time, like they
It's-
say,
Really?
It's the history of Seattle baseball.
yeah. They say it's a magical team. There's just something different about the Emerald City, I guess.
I grew up on. No, Paul Molitor is the Brewers. Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
You know that era. That's interesting. The other documentary I haven't gotten to was the Michael Jordan one. I do
The
want to
Last
see.
Dance.
It was
We're gonna be
incredible.
talking about that on here soon.
Yeah, we're waiting for him to finish it so we can do like a comprehensive review. But it was fantastic. A few lies here and there, but that's to be expected with any documentary.
But what I
Especially-
took away from that is that I want to see more. I've said this to you before, Matt. I want to see more documentaries that are just utterly one-sided.
I mean,
I wanna see-
when the
I wanna
subject
see
is the
Bert
executive
Bonds
producer,
talk about how his secret to success was eating a balanced breakfast and working out.
Who, Jordan?
I want to see Barry Bonds say things like that.
Oh yeah, right.
Like
Yeah.
or like I want to see the MLB shortened strike season where they're talking about it was the World Series was never going to be played anyway. You didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I mean,
They're gonna do also I think they're doing a Magic Johnson version. Reply.
Or you know what would be great is a Patriots documentary where Bill Belichick just talks about how he actually is just smarter than everyone else, and there was no spy cameras used whatsoever.
that's actually next. They're doing a 10-part documentary on Tom Brady. I think that's coming next year. I think.
Is
Can't
it
believe it's in
Brady's
Tampa.
produced? How do you think that Tampa thing is going to go over?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Him and
I keep
Gronk
saying-
hanging out. He's living at Jeter's house.
Yeah.
My sister went to school in Tampa and lived down the block from that house. So I used to go and stalk it like a dorky fan or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. And I worked at the hardest thing I ever did here to talk about radio and sports. The hardest thing I ever did, I should have got an Oscar award, is I worked in Boston. I used to drive to Boston every weekend, 2 times in my career. I was on the air for the Boston Red Sox parade in the early 2000s, and I'm a Yankee fan. And I had, when you're on the radio, you have to assimilate. So,
Yeah.
It makes nobody wants to listen to some Yankee fan in Boston. So I had to be like, congratulations, New York, Red Sox and all that stuff. But I did it.
That must have been a tough time for you, being a Yankee fan. 2004.
Red Sox fans. So I don't. I would wear my
Red
hat.
Sox fan and can confirm.
I would wear my hat to the station. I would get such dirty looks. I would forget I had my hat on, but
Yeah,
it was vicious.
it's crazy because I can go in a Boston hat to Manhattan and no one bats
Right.
an eye.
Right. Well, because they're bitter Bostonites. They're chip on their shoulder.
They've suffered their entire existence.
Right.
There's not much else to do up there except fight and drink Dunkin' Donuts.
I mean,
It was fun to work in.
Yankee fans are a little spoiled because they get a championship every 10 years.
It's hard to be a Yankee fan, though. They just are the kings of disappointment, too. I mean, just get so far. When I was a kid, I used to cry when they would just blow it at the end. But then there was also that Yankee magic that just, you can't imagine, being down 10 runs in the bottom of the ninth. It's still possible. And that's why I like baseball. I hate football. I mean, I've gotten to football as I've gotten older. Baseball is the only game that's not timed. And for better or for worse. But I just, for me, the X's and O's, I hate when you have to run out the clock on football and, there's just no shot, but you have to continue playing because the clock. I just like baseballs. Anything's possible. And over till it's over.
Well said. Are you mad that the Houston cheating scandal has just kind of gone away with everything else that's happened?
So does this count as their
Yes.
Does their
Yes, it does.
It does?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be like played games penalty, not time wise.
I mean,
No, Manfred came out and said that this counts, and like that was what I was listening to the K show like about a month ago, and he's like, "How is this? How is it a punishment if you got the same punishment that every other team did?"
the punishment's for a year, not for a season. So
Wow.
you're banned for the entire 2020 season. So technically, it is a season. It was just never played.
All right. Conspiracy theorists. Which Houston Astros started COVID-19?
It was all a ruse.
Altuve.
Altuve ate the bat. You heard it here first.
It's crazy.
He took one for the team, literally.
I had a question. Why do you think that a lot of people, why do you think people in general fail at what they love to do? Because obviously you're a dedicated person. Like, why do you think that people who go after something fail? Do they give up immediately, or, what's your general thought?
That's a great question. That is a really good question. I've been asked a lot of questions before. That one I have not been asked. I don't know. I'm not a pessimist. I'm not an optimist. I'm kind of a realist. And I think, I've been witness to so many people who love radio and haven't been able to make a go of it. And I try to wonder why. And I think you just have to kind of accept the cards that you're dealt and make the best of it. So why do they fail? I think some is just, a lot of stuff is out of your control. Circumstance. I'm not sure I believe that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And maybe does that sound pessimistic? But sometimes the world doesn't give you that, that thing. Sometimes it's just luck. I think there's a little bit of luck. I had disappointments in my career. I wasn't able to achieve everything, but
I guess I go into it thinking that a lot of people see that they're owed something. Like, you'll go to college and then you're told this lie that you're supposed to get a job immediately after, like you're entitled to something. And I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong, because they think that, they're supposed to have something immediately.
Well, where I correct people on that as far as this industry, though, is like, no way. Don't think that. Yeah, I think that, you and I, and we're all kind of in the arts. And I think when you're in the arts, it's all forms of structure are off. I always tell people, you want stability or structure, go be a civil servant. But in the arts, anything can happen. So yeah, you're not owed. You can get out of college and never land a job, or you can get out of college, get a production assistant job right away. Anything can happen. Just not fluid. It's just fluid that way. You just never know. I saw I think it was Whoopi Goldberg said once, someone was asking her view on acting. It's like, want to be an actor, be an actor. You can be an actor anywhere. That's a different thing than saying I want to be a celebrity. Because you want to be an actor, go be an actor in Summerstock, go be an actor or whatever. But so many people strive to be, the $1 million box office. So what do you want? Do you want the art of actor or not?
Like, there's people like Daniel Day-Lewis that I think just really want to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Philip Seymour Hoffman, the late great, was like that. But like I most people, and Dixon, I'm sure you've worked with actors before. People 99% of the time when somebody says I want to be an actor, what they mean is I want to be famous.
What I notice a lot in myself is that I'll find that in order to accomplish something in my mind, I have to achieve this particular picture of what I want. And that's the one thing I struggle with a lot, is like, I want to make this movie, but I can't make this movie unless it has X, Y, and Z. And
so so you stop yourself because you don't have X, Y, and Z.
I stop before I start because I feel that I can't get that exact image that I want, when in reality, at the very least, you're making something and you're working towards that ideal of perfection, when you're never going to achieve it, but you're getting at least an inch closer to that than you would have by not doing it.
I like what Robert Rodriguez recommends about making movies. Anybody listening don't know who Robert Rodriguez is. He's the Spy Kids guy. He made movies like Desperado. And he says, if you're a budget filmmaker, you should make a list of everything you have access to and make a movie about that. Like he's like, my first movie, I had a car, a mariachi suit, a guitar, and a prop gun. So I made a movie that used those four things.
There you go. I tell people for radio, I mean, if you can't, we're in such a good time now for technology. It used to be you had to get on a radio station to be a radio DJ. Not true anymore. You know, you could be more heard on the internet than you could, at a radio station that's just stuck on, in their local area. So it's being creative with what your cards you're dealt. And my mantra, if I had a mantra at the end of the day, and I told you guys this on day one in class, and I tell everybody, is just find something you love to do, because if you love to do it, then the failures are not going to hurt as bad.
Yeah.
And I love going to work every day because it's not work. I'm all right with that.
It's a career and not a job.
I don't want a job. For me, my big thing was getting in New York City. Not my big thing, but I was glad I got in New York City twice. I can't even believe it, but I did. So I don't know. There wasn't a clear path to it, but I achieved it. I just kind of figured out what I had to do and meet the right people. And it is true about the people aspect, I believe, the whole networking thing. And, it's got a little bit of who you know. I had a couple of situations where I got in on myself, but it's a lot of calls and a lot of, people take care of people they know. They just do.
Do you think a lot of times the people support structure can sometimes impact how easy they are or less likely to do things is?
1,000%. That is so true. Yeah. I had to, anybody in my life, I have to educate on to how my life is, and how well I do depends on how much they support me or not. My first job in radio was overnights. So I worked midnight to 5, and, living in a home with my parents and my brother and my sister, and, and understanding that I wasn't going to be at work. I wasn't going to be at Christmas dinner. So I could have had people around me that said, "Oh, you're not going to be at Christmas, blah, blah, blah. You have to be at Christmas." Or I could have people that understood and supported my dream. And because they supported my dream, I was able to get, where I got. Same goes for relationships, girlfriends, whatever you got, wife, husband. It's just, it's only going to help you, but it can hurt you.
Were your parents supportive of your choices in life?
Yeah, definitely. My dad was my biggest fan for sure. He was awesome. And my mom was a mom. She was supportive, but she's like, does it have health benefits? Are you going to be all right? That kind of thing. They were supportive. I came from 2 great parents. My dad had a very successful business in the city for construction, but I had no interest in construction. So they allowed me to do my thing. Their deal was, we'll pay for a 4-year college, then you're on your own. And, self-sufficient, definitely a self-sufficient family, but supportive for sure. Yeah.
I got some quick hits for you before we finish up here.
Go.
So you're on the radio a lot. You hear a lot of new music. What's the best new song you've heard so far this year? Which artist is on the up and up?
There's a song, I can't even remember the artist now. Don't Rush Me. Young T or something like that. Don't Rush Me. Look into that song. That's really good. I'm really liking the Jonas Brothers.
It was so crazy to see them back, because they're like people my age. Everybody kind of remembers the Jonas Brothers.
But musically, there's depth to it. It's really good. They have a new song out with Karol G, and it's called X. Really good song.
Do you find yourself falling in love with songs or hating songs over time since you hear them 40 or 50 times a day?
The repetition, I don't hear the repetition, because I don't, so it doesn't sway me one way or the other. So that doesn't matter. But Yeah, I fall in love. And yeah, when I'm in the studio, I'm more thinking about the art of how I'm going to present the song and what my break is going to be like and how I'm going to do it differently each time. Nobody wants to hear me. There's a song called Oh My God by Alec Benjamin. Okay. The title of the song is Oh My God. One break will be Today's Hit Music K104. It's Oh My God, Alec Benjamin. Now, what can I do with that? That's that's the art. What can I do with that? Maybe you do film directing. Do you ask an actor to do a scene different ways each time? So for Oh My God, I was like, I said, okay, Oh My God. So I did a break about, a Valley girl. Oh my God, talking like that. Or I did a break. Oh, this is Becky from Sir Mix-a-Lot. She says, oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. And just try to think of different ways to present it to make someone laugh. So I'm more thinking of the art of the speaking and the delivery. The music, yeah, I do fall in love with songs, but I don't really get to hate songs. It's secondary. The music itself is a little bit secondary. It's more me as a presenter and that's the art that I'm working on.
Mm. Which artist, which song disappointed you the most? Which artist came out with a new song this year and you were like, come on, man, what are you doing? This could have been so much better.
Not loving Lady Gaga's stuff. Rain on Me is doing really well. I'm just not hearing it. That's what it's Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. Yeah. So I'm not really hearing her. I'm just she's a great artist, but I'm kind of over her.
Mm.
That's probably a little difficult when you don't really enjoy the song too much. But I guess you're just kind of promoting it. You don't really have to listen to it as much. So
yeah, and I can't really give my opinion, like my unbridled opinion, because again, it is a business. So I will only give positive opinions. I won't give negative opinions because we have record companies, and we do business with them. And you just don't. It's like telling someone their kid's ugly. You're not going to tell them their kid's ugly.
Yeah.
You say, oh, that's a cute baby, or oh, what a baby.
You just kind of do you find like an angle in, like you're like, I'm not feeling the song, but the drums are cool. I'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, I won't say I'm not feeling the song, but I will say the drums are cool.
You'll end it and it'll be like, that was Lady Gaga. Those drums are really great.
Yeah, we have what we call a Disney approach. Like everything is on the positive. There's places for you to be negative otherwise, but we want everything to be at our radio station of the positive experience about the music, the listeners. You never want to put anybody down. There's other places to do that, but we just kind of think of everything on the positive. Not disingenuous. It's just, you're selling the brand. Do. You don't want to go to McDonald's and someone says, nuggets suck. That's what you do. You do that off air, offline. You can tell your friends that the nuggets suck, but don't be behind the counter. Oh, what's good here? Nothing. Who wants to go to a restaurant and someone asks what the specials are? You don't want to eat here.
We had a guy at the restaurant I work at who did that one time. He was like, somebody was like, can I get the clam chowder? He's like, you don't want the clam chowder. That sucks. Like, dude, like you can't say that.
I mean, he did.
So stupid. I don't know. You gotta be proud of your product and proud of your brand, and I always will be. And it's that whole old adage: you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Sky, where can the beautiful people find you on the social medias for their viewing and listening pleasure? And where can they find you every day if they're in the area?
Yes, if they're in the area, 104.7 K104 from 2 till 6 right now, Monday through Friday, and Sunday night 7 to midnight. I'm on in New London, Connecticut, 1 to 4 on JAMA 107.7 Monday through Friday. I'm on in Sheboygan, Wisconsin on Z107 and 107.1 The Bull from 2 to 7. If you're in Tennessee, I'm on Rock 93.7 in Cookeville, Tennessee. I'm on Rutland, Vermont at Z97.1. And is that all my stations? Yeah. And radio. Oh, you know what's a fun listen? If you are on the weekends from 10 to 3, Saturday and Sunday, Radio 104.1 WMRQ in Hartford, Connecticut. They do all 90s weekend. It's alternative. All 90s weekend. So a lot of Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana, odd songs like Standing outside a broken phone booth with money in my pocket. Look up that song. It's really good. So Radio 104.1. But all encompassing, my website is skyskymedia.com. Skyskymedia.com. I don't update it as much as I should, but all my socials are on there and all that good jazz.
Cool. Always a pleasure to speak to you, Sky. We appreciate you.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys are doing well.
Yeah, we're glad to catch up with you. Always see you on the social media and everything. So
Matt always likes my stuff.
And when the college opens back up, I'll stop by and say hi.
Have you heard something?
What's that?
Have you heard anything?
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I hope. I have to give a call to our superiors and try to get a tenure on everything. It was tough. It was a challenge. I'm glad you guys got one project under your belt. So I was able to teach you how to do one radio show. But teaching radio remotely, you can't teach equipment and stuff like that is really hard. But
yeah, I imagine.
It was an asterisk semester. I always call it that. Like everyone's just gonna be like, oh, that was a semester of COVID, so nothing was normal. So we'll see. I haven't heard on how the college is going to proceed. Maybe at the very least, people can go into the studio or whatever. But very weird. But I hope to be back.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Where can they find you on the social medias, Dixon?
You can always find me at DatMixon on Twitter and at Blu Zodiac Pictures, BLU Zodiac Pictures on the Instagram for all your beautiful pictures you want to see that I take. And as always, follow at RSTDoc on Instagram. Our upcoming documentary about the return of RST video from the movie Clerks.
What I would like to formally announce on this special episode of the podcast, we have our second Blu Zodiac Productions project going into production, because I will be directing a documentary about zombie cars.
Zombie cars.
Zombie cars. Cars made by manufacturers that no longer exist. Pontiacs, Plymouths, etc.
Oh, all right. How did you get the name Blue? How did you get the name Blu Zodiac?
Our good friend Nick Turco. I told him that name.
Oh, Turco.
Yeah.
I had him in class too.
Yes.
I never saw him. Hi, Turco. He was in my class.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the roster.
It was some name I came up with, and then he said, "Oh, that name sucks." So I'm like, "Well, I'm going to keep it because I don't like that you don't like it." So here we are.
Reminds me of the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, it kind of gives off those vibes. So
there you go.
You mean Ted Cruz?
There you go.
On that note.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Sky. We appreciate you taking the time. Stay safe in all this, and we'll talk to you soon. And hopefully we can see each other in person when the time is when we're all not dying.
Yeah. It was great to see you again, man.
Yeah. Good to see you guys. I'm glad you asked.